Precious, did you see Mr. Thompson?
Thompson, Mr. Thompson. No. That's exactly the point I wanted to tell you. I think I've been trying to bring up this discussion all along about Mr. Thompson. You see, people are just trying to like blame Mr. Thompson about what happened and all this, but actually it's tenors. No. Everyone is trying to blame Mr. Thompson about what happened, but actually it's tenor. Yes, what? Actually, it's tenor's fault because Mr. Thompson is this kind of guy who like has strict rules. When you're going to chemistry lab, you don't just go and just start acting without people's permission. Tena, wait, no, I'm the one talking here. Okay. Tena just went to that lab and she was just mixing things without permission. I mean, how would you just do that? And you know me. No. See, you like to interrupt me. I don't like interrupting. No. So, when Tena went to that lab, she went and she was mixing it without any permission. Mixing. Mr. Thompson had already given strict rules and regulations that no one acts in this lab without prior information or without prior order. And you just see what I'm trying to say is that you are not even related to the science. You're not even working in the chemistry lab. I don't even know how you even get to have information. Yours is based on a hearsay. So your opinion doesn't count, okay? One-sided conversations. Guys, one-sided conversations can be clearly draining, boring, in fact, toxic. Greetings, amazing people. You're highly welcome to another splendid episode of Get Impeccable. And in this episode, I will be co-hosting with Kennedy Esther. Hi, Kennedy Esther. And I'm your host, as usual, Precious and Dean. In this episode, guys, we will be talking about one-sided conversations, the causes, the effects, and how can we curb it. If you watch initially in our previous kid, you see that, Esther, how did you feel with us trying? You're trying to talk and I'm just talking. How did you feel?
Yeah, I felt bad because I have my own opinions I wanted to share, which was actually relevant, but you were cutting me short. So I just felt like what I wanted to say was not very important.
Exactly. And that is what one-sided conversation does. So in this episode, we will dive deep into every aspect about avoiding one-sided conversation. Are you ready? Come with us. Okay, Esther, you had mentioned earlier in the skit that you felt really bad about like the conversation because you didn't feel like you have an opinion. But what do you think would have made the cause of a one-sided conversation? What do you think could be the cause of, me? That was not me, my character then. What do you think would have made me, as a person, just feel like I just have to continually talk, like causing the one-sided conversation aspect?
Okay, so I feel one of the causes of one-sided conversation is the individual is just trying to impress. You just want to try to impress other people. So you feel just sharing your thoughts without listening to other people is very important to you. So you just keep talking, but you don't know. At the end of the day, you're just having a one-sided conversation. And then another thing would be maybe because you feel or you think you have a lot of information about what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's very true. Trying to impress others. How many guys, how many ladies think by talking a lot, you're impressing other persons? Guy, you're just driving that person away. And secondly, also what she mentioned about the aspect of you thinking you have a lot of information. Adding to that, some people feel like you don't have the information as well. So it's not like I even have a lot of information, but the fact I've already underrated you, I've minimized you, and I feel like this one I'm talking. This one, you don't have anything to say, and I'm already just underrating you. And some people are just generally talkative. They just want to keep talking. They don't even know they're talking, but they're talking. But let's not forget the aspect of the silent person. Mm-hmm. For one-sided conversation to exist, there must be that person who is left out. And this silent person, so why is the person silent? So it's possible because this person might feel like, as you mentioned, you felt like your opinion doesn't matter. I think there was a point you just had quiet.
And I also felt like I was intimidated with what you were saying. Because you were like, my opinion does not matter. And I felt, okay, probably my opinion does not matter. Let me just keep quiet. Yeah,
you get that. So intimidation can occur and this person just feels totally silent. And that's why we want to be like, for a conversation to actually occur, conversation comes from, it's a noun, right? And it comes from the verb like converse. and for you to converse.
Into people.
Yeah, there has to be someone or a group of people you're conversing with. You can't just have a conversation and you're the only one talking and someone is just like, that's a monologue, bro, or sis. Yeah, so that's why we're like, okay, there's this cause of a one-sided conversation, but most of the time, you always see trouble, like the effects of something. You always know this thing is a problem by seeing the outcome or the trouble. So what do you think would be the effects of one-sided conversation? Why should we avoid one-sided conversation? Yeah.
Well, it should be avoided because you talked about communication,
effects,
right?
yeah.
You talked about communication. For one-sided conversation to happen, it means this conversation is happening on just one side. But for communication to happen, you need both people to be involved. So the effect of it let me just use an example of a parent-to-child situation where the parent is the one always pushing or always having this one-sided conversation without hearing what the opinion of the child is. It makes the child become so isolated from their peers. They just feel they are inferior. They should other people that when they go out like in a social gathering, you see them always quiet. Even when you ask for their opinion, they'll be like, "Oh, it does not really matter. I don't really have to say anything." But sometimes people just overlook those kind of situations. But when you look very well, there might be hidden causes of this thing. So the effect of one-sided conversation in a parent-to-child case might be the child would grow up to be an introvert, or the child would always feel so isolated. They would not want to share whatever their idea is, and most time the idea might be very good,
Exactly.
very, very excellent, but they are so scared to share this idea because where they are coming from, the place where they are coming from, the foundation they are coming from, always shuts them off from whatever conversation they might be, whatever idea they might have.
Yeah. That's very perfect. And added to that, another thing is one-sided conversation, especially to the individual who is the person talking, might end up even having a limited knowledge band. Limited knowledge band means you keep on talking, you keep on giving out, but you're not receiving anything. And there's always this saying of listening, right? Like when you listen, you receive more. So the more you talk a lot and you're not listening, you're not receiving anything, you're having a fixed mind or fixed set of ideas. But the more you converse with other people, mind you get to pick one or certain things about, not even what the person is saying, but even about that person. So it really limits your knowledge band, even with the person you're talking with, and even with like what you guys are talking about.
I totally agree with you, Precious, because there's a saying that goes, nobody's an island of knowledge.
Exactly.
So for you to have a very good relationship with other people, you need to learn how to communicate. So ways in which you can communicate is not about you just speaking. So it means whatever relationship you're going to be forming with other people, there might be some challenges. You might face a lot of challenges. And you'll be like, oh, a lot of people don't like listening to me when I'm speaking. Have you asked yourself, do you engage in one-sided conversations? Do you listen to people's opinion? So all these things actually matters.
Perfect. I love that fact she mentioned. It also hurts your social cycle. Imagine you just trying to have this conversation with somebody and you're trying to engage with the person, and each time you try to engage with the person, you hardly ever talk. You hardly ever make a point. I mean, my behavior, like my point of view, I'm just gonna stay away from the person because I feel like I don't matter to the person. You get, and you start asking yourself, well, why don't I have friends? You're affecting your social circle because you always engage in one-sided conversation. And just take, for instance, let's use the common examples where we even get to see movies. If you go on a date with someone and the person is talking throughout, you want to talk, say, hey, I know about that. Hey, bro. Literally, most of the time, you always see it ending up with people just waking up from there and you leave. And you start asking yourself, why am I unfortunate? And just take a brief reflection on yourself. And talking about reflections, how do you think we can actually avoid one-sided conversations? It's actually important that we don't get to just see about we've been able to see the two-sided aspect of a one-sided conversation. I love the way that sounds. Yeah, the two-sided aspect of a one-sided conversation. But now, how can we provide solutions? Because we're solution givers and Get Impeccable. Yeah, so right now we want to how can we curb this? You get? Yeah, so what do you think?
Okay, so personally, when I have a conversation with people, when I'm having conversations with people, and I want to get their idea. If I see, because most time, you have a good knowledge on a particular aspect,
yeah.
right? And you just want to like prove your point. But then the way I bring in other people to my conversation is like I ask them, what do you think about this thing?
Exactly.
Okay, so this is that, but what do you think? Let me hear your own point of view. So you're giving the other person an opportunity to see, even if it actually does not matter, even if it does not go in line with what you have, but then giving them the opportunity to speak, actually, it gives them this kind of feeling that they're actually welcome, that their opinion actually counts. So you can just ask them, what do you think about this? How do you think about this
Perfect.
topic or issue that is going on? Let them just contribute in whatever way they can contribute.
Exactly. Providing avenues for the people to contribute. Like what she said, I love that example. What do you think about this? Because some people feel like, no, I shouldn't talk. I shouldn't. I don't know when to talk or when. Just ask, what do you think? Or, don't just think the person doesn't have an idea on what the person wants to share. And you could also use, confirmatory feelers like, isn't it? Those kind of things. You get to like make the person feel like
be like, okay, go on.
Oh wow, you have something. Go on. This kind of thing. You're using confirmatory feelers to enable the person join the conversation. As well, you can also start by also giving like questions like, before we start this, I want to get your own perspective on this. So you kind of ask the person a question before you actually begin the actual detail you want to make. And just in case you feel like you'll be the one doing most of the talking, it's good to inform the person prior to the conversation. You're like, before we have this, I just want to tell you, like, I'm going to actually talk for a long period of time. I'll be talking about this. So the person don't feel like, you inform the person. So my mind is prepared that, this person has said this, so maybe I can ask questions later on. Not ending up feel bored or whatever. So that's actually one cool strategy for us to avoid one-sided conversations. Do you have any other thing to add, maybe?
I think you just said it actually, because it will just make the communication very interactive. So if you ask for the idea, you tell them ahead of time that, I've heard what you've said, but then it's my own turn for you to listen to me. I might be talking for quite a while. But feel free to cut me short and tell me whatever you have to say.
Perfect.
Even in the classroom also, you can, during the teacher and students' classroom activity, the lecturer might just stop for a while and ask you that, what do you think about this?
Exactly.
It's not like the lecturer does not know what they are talking about.
Yeah.
But they just want that communication to be very interactive. It should not be one-sided, because at the end of the day, you might just end up talking to yourself.
Exactly.
And the other person is not listening to you. Yeah, so I think you just said it.
Facts. Because most of the time when people end up listening a lot, our minds are not just fixed. At some point, your mind starts to wander because you're not being engaged.
Yeah.
So being engaged actually enables transmission of information, and that is what communication is about, and communication is a very fundamental part of conversations, right? So I hope you learned a lot throughout this session, and I hope you get to have a lot of takeaways, and please share this content with other people so we get to build a healthy world, especially in the aspect of effective communication and promoting two-sided conversations. You get what I'm talking about? Esther, I am so honored and grateful to host these sessions with you. Co-hosting these sessions, and upcoming we'll always be having Esther. I know a lot of people want to see this glowing skin on the camera, so we're gonna have Esther upcoming in a couple of her episodes. She'll be co-hosting. She's a very powerful psychologist measure at the university, so we'll be sharing a lot of her insights. She'll get to enable us in a lot of aspects, and we hope you actually get impeccable. Please, dear people, if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Right, Esther? Yeah, like, share, comment, and keep promoting Get Impeccable. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. A bientôt.